Nick Hart from Backstreet Boys.
Shout out to Boy Band Break.
It's Chris Kirkpatrick here. Shout out to your podcast, Boy Band Break.
Everybody, this is Howie D, and I'm listening to Boy Band Break.
Hi, Ashley Parker Angel here. Huge shout out to the Boy Band Break podcast.
This is Brad from LFO, and you are listening to Boy Band Break.
Hey, what's up? This is Jacob.
What's up? It's Dan.
What's up? It's Trevor.
And it's Erik Michael, and it's time for Boy Band Break, baby. Let's go!
Bam, 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 bam.
Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band conversation. As always, my name's Diane.
I'm Cinzia.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Lydia, aka Mama Lou.
Welcome back, everybody.
It feels so good to have us all again. I'm just like, oh, fearsome leader, please say the intro correctly.
We really suck at the intro.
And at least you know your name as well.
It's not like we haven't been doing this for like.
That's what I
227 episodes.
Yes.
It is hard to remember all those words in a row.
We had the intro for like the first few episodes, but it's literally been at least 220 episodes.
Yeah.
So, in case anyone's wondering, for the most part, the four of us are on this podcast, but occasionally Diane is not, or Sophia is not, or Lydia is not. I'm the only one. I'm the MVP, guys. I'm the one who's been on every single episode. Yeah. Sorry if you hate
House of Commons attendance. It is 100% this one.
Anyways, when Diane is off, because she does the intro and the outro. And radio, we use both terms.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, regardless, Diane does it. So when she's not here, first of all, we either forget to decide who's going to say it, or we say it and then mess up. And then the other person, named Lydia, makes fun of us. So then we're like, oh, okay, Lydia, you do it. And then Lydia did it perfectly, but forgot her own name.
Yeah.
Is it because normally you say your name last? So then you were like, shit, do I say Lydia now and then not later?
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
She's like, and I'm Lydia. And then it was like, and then we said our parts, and then she's like, and Mama Lou. It was very entertaining.
And I meant to say fearless leader, not fearful leader. You know what I meant. What I meant to say. I think I said and our fearful leader. So yes, fearless.
Oh, I didn't even hear the fearful part. I just heard leader.
Faithful leader? I don't know. You know the word that I was trying, the sentiment I'm trying to.
Fearless.
Fearless. Okay.
But I'm fearful, so that's fine.
Anyways, welcome to anyone who is new to this podcast. We're not, we do go on tangents.
Oh, wow! That's the change.
So thank you for joining us. We are Boy Band Break. We are a podcast that talks about boy bands.
We are, yes.
So
and boy band adjacent.
Boy band adjacents as well. So subscribe to us on YouTube.
What does it look like?
YouTube.com/B.
Oh wow.
BOYBANDBREAK.
If you see on your screen now. This is not really a good example.
That's it.
Well,
it is.
But okay, that's not what.
But okay, hold on.
Skip it ahead, friend.
I know. I'm trying to get to the channel. Look at the channel. Isn't it gorgeous?
Beautiful.
No, don't let them hear that episode without watching.
Wow. Look at all this amazing content.
Sometimes we randomly eat chicken. We've done that twice.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is
the point. You know what? Chicken is delicious.
Whatever. It is what it is.
Okay. Anyways.
Subscribe. It's free. We're really not insane all the time. So there you go.
Okay.
Anyways, so I guess today's episode is going to be mostly me talking.
It will be, but we're going to pipe in with stuff.
So obviously some sad news that we heard that Aaron Carter had passed away at the end of November.
Beginning of
November.
I think it was November 5th.
Yes, because his birthday is December 7th. So it was about a month before his birthday. As of this moment, they have not officially got the toxology reports back and all that stuff. But
he did not die of drowning.
He was in a bath. So they got back the thing and there was no water in the lungs. He was found in his bathtub, but it was not a drowning.
Oh.
So
more question marks that will hopefully be answered. But they did cremate him, so I don't know how that's
they do all the stuff before.
Well then.
It just takes a while. It's not like the TV shows where they're
Not
like,
CSI Miami.
30 seconds later, oh my God, they had all this, and this rare obscure berry from Guatemala has made its way into this thing, which came from a bird that dropped it off at the crime scene. Like, so it's not at all like the TV show.
Boo.
So, sucks, whatever.
Thanks, Hollywood.
Obviously, we know that Erin went through a lot.
TV ruins everything.
It really does. Like, what's that one? Bones. She's like, has her little machine and this like stuff pops up. And I'm like, really? Like, you have all of this magic thing?
I mean, I wish.
Yeah, that's not real life.
Yeah.
Anyway, so obviously he had a lot of mental health issues and substance abuse issues. And it finally came to a head one day. So
big sad.
very sad. Obviously, Erin has a lot of fans. And
He leaves behind a son named Prince and a fiance named Melanie.
Yes. Anyways, so about a week after Erin passed, his twin sister Angel decided that she wanted to do something. So she was looking around, and then she found this organization called On Our Sleeves, which has child mental health. And then it was like ways you can help. So she went on there and she found a thing that said fundraise. So she's like, I can do a fundraiser. So obviously Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys is also Angel's brother. So she reached out to him, and Lance Bass is her friend, and he has a nightclub. So that was the venue for it. So that's Heart WeHo. So then they decided to put together and get some other boy banders to come and kind of put on a tribute show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show that page. And that is the wrong button.
Yep. And then share screen. Yep. That's the one. Tab. And then that one.
Okay. Share.
Okay. So if you can see that.
Okay, you can see that. Okay. So the event was called Songs for Tomorrow. Go back to this page. So it was at Heart WeHo. So that's in West Hollywood on Wednesday, the 18th of January. So it says.
Do you want me to read this part?
Sure.
Okay. Here, you drink this. On January 18th, Angel, Conrad, and Lance Bass will be hosting Songs for Tomorrow, with proceeds benefiting On Our Sleeves, a movement for children's mental health at heart. Lance's new nightlife and music venue in West Hollywood,
California.
Oh, yes. Okay. I thought that was the name of the thing.
You thought Ka was?
Who knows? This is Hollywood, baby. Inspired by the late twin brother Aaron Carter and his lifelong struggles with mental illness, Angel's mission is to honor the memory of her brother and open up an important and necessary conversation that the U.S. Surgeon General has called a national health crisis. At an early age, Aaron started showing symptoms of mental illness. Unfortunately, as is common for many individuals experiencing mental health difficulties, Aaron did not receive the treatment that could have helped him despite the tireless efforts of Angel and those who loved him. His life is a cautionary tale that, and one that has inspired Angel to work with On Our Sleeves to raise awareness to help other families, giving them opportunities to write a different story. The goal of Songs for Tomorrow is to empower the attendees and beyond to learn how they can be part of the mission of On Our Sleeves to break the stigma around mental health and raise funds to support all kids with their mental health and wellness as they grow up. Intimate gathering of thought leaders, influencers, and artists from across the entertainment industry, featuring a night of uplifting performances and appearances by Nick Carter, plus members of the Backstreet Boys, Lance Bass, plus members of NSYNC, O-Town, LFO, B. Howard, Ryan Cabrera, and many more to be confirmed. On Our Sleeves is on a mission to start national conversations, break stigmas, and educate advocates to understand and promote children's mental health throughout the U.S., to help the 1 in 5 kids living with mental health disorder, and to help all kids with their mental health and wellness as they grow up. Support for On Our Sleeves initiatives such as classroom kits for teachers, conversation guides for parents, sports curriculums for coaches, workplace research and resources for working parents, kid-friendly videos for parents and educators, and more. Learn more how you can support by visiting onoursleeves.org. Can't make it to the show in person? We've partnered with Veeps to bring the show to you via a very special live stream event. Ticket proceeds will go directly to On Our Sleeves. For more information, visit songsfortomorrow.veeps.com.
Okay, so that was that.
Yeah.
So that came up. Why are you not in the studio?
Sorry, I leaned the wrong way. I couldn't see myself. I leaned the wrong way.
Okay. So anyways, it came up. I saw Nick and I saw Lance and I said, yes, I'm going. So then I immediately bought a VIP ticket because I'm like, if you're going to across the country, across the other country. You're not just going to get the general admission ticket.
Might as well.
Might as well. I almost got like the table ones, but that was a lot more money that I felt I could use towards my flights.
Yep.
And you get like alcohol and stuff, and I don't really drink that much. You did get toasts with the celebrities. And you got like special seating area. But I was like, you know what? I do GA. That's my jam.
Yeah.
The seating area is not front. So they had like an upstairs balcony that had a bunch of tables and then a downstairs one. So long story short, I'm just gonna. So I bought the tickets, did not buy airfare or a hotel. Then approximately like 3 days through, or maybe less than a week before, I was like, I should probably buy airline tickets.
Probably.
And I was like, okay, they're not too expensive. I felt bad because I had just come back from vacation. I didn't want to ask my boss for more vacation time, but I was like, you know what, whatever.
Special case.
And then Sophia and Dan couldn't come because again, it was on a Wednesday and they had work. And they work with children, and apparently the principals and owners of daycares and things frown upon you leaving children unattended in the middle of the week. So
I had my photo shoot for
and
my,
Lydia is now becoming an actor.
I'm now an actor.
Yes, so she had her stuff. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm 40. I can just go by myself. I'm sorry. It was Nick, Lance, and O-Town, and that's what sealed the deal for me. I was like, okay, well, we're gonna have that.
It's a good combination.
Good combination. So I was like, and also, and honest to tell you the truth, honestly, I was also a big Aaron fan. Like Sophia and I have met Aaron a bunch of times over the years. We did like a couple of pizza meet and greets. We went to New York City to see him in the Fantastics. Lydia went to one of the pizza meet and greets as well in the States. Lydia and I went to a concert.
That's right.
Remember you had that sign?
Yes, you made me that sign.
I made Lydia a really cute sign.
The engagement sign.
Yes, because Aaron had a song called I'm All About You. So like Lydia was the huge Aaron
I am. I'm still
from like when she was a kid, like she took his garbage from a hotel and like
McDonald's, right? The
McDonald's, yes. So like had binders full of stuff.
Look, guys, if I had money and time, I would have gone too. But I did literally 8 photo shoots that day, and by the time I was finished, it was 12:30, and I'm like, I'm dying.
Yes.
So I kind of I dropped the ball on that, but also I'm like it was necessary for my career to move forward, so I had to take that chance. So I'm sorry.
Yes. No one is.
I feel bad. AC, sorry, my guy.
But yeah, so I know there's a lot of mixed feelings with certain Backstreet Boys fans and stuff about Aaron Carter, but at the end of the day, like I was a fan of Aaron, and I felt bad, and I wanted to go to this memorial because I wanted to go.
I'm so glad you went.
I went, whatever, long story long, got there like the day before. We ended up going to like the Walk of Fame the next day. So we took pictures with the Backstreet Boys, stars and stuff. I put my boy band break jacket down. I don't think I've post those pictures. So with like all the stars, and then we did like the wax museum. And they were actually setting up outside of the, what's it called? Grom's Chinese Theater. Yeah. That one. They were setting up a premiere for Shotgun Wedding with Jennifer Lopez.
Ooh, nice.
So it's actually like super cool. They had like a helicopter, they had a zip line, I was like, whoa, this is cool. So I was like, ooh, what time did the premieres happen? And they're like 6 o'clock. I'm like, I will be at a concert. So
dang.
So oh well. I'm like,
oh well.
So anyways, it looked pretty cool. So I guess if you live in LA, it's either very cool or very boring. I don't know.
It's like, oh, another premiere.
Another premiere. But anyway, so the VIP was supposed to start at 6 p.m. California time, which I guess would be 9 p.m. our time. And then the live stream started at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard
Time. Yeah.
So that's what time like Sophia would watch it, or 8 p.m.
It didn't really start till like 11:30.
Right, because
I thought it wasn't supposed to start.
It was originally supposed to start at 11. I think it was started just before 11:30, because I know what happens on the Backstreet post at 11:30 is the start time, like the day before or something. Yeah. Anyways, I get this message from them, even though it said the meet and greet was at 6. It's like the meet and greet is at 5:15. You need to be here. If you were a minute late, you will not be let in. Blah blah blah. So we're like,
crazy.
Panicking, and we're like, come on, this is like Backstreet time, but okay, let's play cool. So we go, and we're there at like 5, and there's like a lineup of people. And even though they sent us a note saying you need to line up here, only the people who had like the VIP table tickets were on that side. We were on the other side. Then there was another line for general admission people. But it was cool, and it was nice. I kind of ran into a bunch of Backstreet Boys fans that we've seen at various events at other places.
Yes, I remember a majority of them.
Yeah, so it was kind of nice to see a bunch of them. So like, Go out, took pictures with everybody. Ran into some NSYNC fans that were on either side of us. Ran into a listener of our podcast. So that was very. I was wearing the boy band break jacket, and then I had some business cards. So I was talking to these NSYNC fans in front of me, and they were talking about like the 90s and boy bands and how much they love boy bands and all the other stuff. And I was like, well, if you like boy bands, here's a podcast. So I like handed out the cards, and I handed it out to this one girl. And she's like, oh, I listen to boy band break all the time. And I was like, oh, cool. Thanks. And then she was like, it took her a second, and she looked, she's like, oh, wait, is this you? And I was like, yeah, it is. She's like, oh, you're in boy band break. I thought you were just a fan of boy band break. I was like, well, I am, but I also so shout out to Jill. It was very nice to meet you.
Hi, Jill.
She had a very cute sweatshirt on. It said something about, of course, now I forget it, but it says, I need like a 90s boy band kind of day or something like that. So it was cute. It was a cute sweatshirt. It was very cute. But yeah.
Very nice.
And then we waited. And then we waited some more. And then they eventually checked our ID and gave us wristbands. Then they came back and checked our ID again to make sure we were of age. Then they and we're just like, okay. So then we finally got it. They started letting the other VIP people in around 6:15. So I was like, oh, good. An hour after we were told that we had to be here.
Not a minute late.
So, but like, they're like, oh, they're still setting up the memorial thing. So that's why I'm like, okay, whatever. They also gave us zero information on how this meet and greet was working or anything. So we were just like, well, it is what it is. So
didn't they not call it a meet and greet? They called it a
it was called a mix and mingle, I think.
That's what
because it was like kind of, I don't know, kind of weird. Because it's a memorial, so it was kind of weird to be like, like, hey, come get pictures. So it was very somber, but it was, people weren't like whatever. So we ended up.
So was it a mix and mingle? Did you guys mingle?
No. Not exactly. So we go in, and then we were also we had eaten like a late lunch, but the girls in front of us are like, we're hungry. Are there going to be snacks? And the guy was like, yeah, there's snacks inside. I'm like, really, inside this bar? We're like, okay, cool. Spoiler alert, friends, there were no snacks.
What?
So I don't know what this man was talking about.
What?
Maybe he was talking that the celebrities had snacks and they're snacking. Or maybe the people who had tables, I think I saw like a bag of chips.
Okay.
So maybe if you paid the extra $200, $300, you got a little bit. You got booze, like you got alcohol and stuff. But anyways,
okay.
And you had a place to sit, like there was like a table.
I mean, I could get all of those, like a chair, a beer, and a pack of chips. They
didn't have chairs anywhere. So then I was also freaking out because I'd never been to Lance's nightclub, so I didn't obviously know, and it was very hard to find information online about how big it was. So I was like, is this going to be huge? And then we're going to be at the back, like. It was like an okay size, but it wasn't like overly huge. Like I would say. Somebody had said about 300 capacity. I read another thing that said 8, and then I read an article that said there was about 600 people there. So not a ton of people, but
600 is still quite a bit.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I wouldn't want them packed in my house.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
no, it was like a good size. It wasn't like too tiny, but it also wasn't like thousands of people.
Okay.
And then obviously I did want more people to be there to raise money. Right?
And they did online people too, right?
Yes. So then they had the Veeps thing. Now the interesting thing about Veeps is that although it was a live stream, they were not recording it, so you couldn't watch it again later. So that was kind of a detriment to a bunch of people because, like, for example, Diane is in bed by 11 p.m. because she had to be at school.
I go to sleep at 10:30, people.
So like you're up at like what, 7 in the morning or 6 in the morning?
6:30.
Yeah.
Every morning.
I mean, wouldn't it make sense
I
to
have
sell
to be
DVDs?
working by 7:55.
So we had never heard of Veeps before until like a few days prior because New Kids did a thing with Veeps, but they did they showed their show, but then theirs was playing for 2 weeks afterwards. So even if you didn't watch it at that moment, you could watch it again later.
Yeah, like it's kind of a business tactic where it's like it pushes people to
right, exactly,
because it's like a limited thing, right? But it's
limited engagement. But no, it was fine. Whatever. So anyway, so since I was there and I knew you guys were going to be sleeping, and I figured a bunch of other people, like Europe, it was like 4 a.m. or whatever, like right, like I decided I was going to try to like videotape as much.
You're very kind.
I bought it, watched a little bit, and I was so tired I also fell asleep.
Oh no! So that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It went to a good cause, the money.
Exactly.
Anyway, so we get in and we're like, how is this meet and greet even gonna work? So we're all just like randomly standing there. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And they had like some white flowers around there, and then they had like a nice little memorial set up in the corner. So it had like one of those like big rose things and stuff, and a table with like candles and pictures of Aaron. And they actually had like the little, like not the prayer cards, but yeah, kind of like a little card like that. I meant to go grab more and I didn't. I have one somewhere. But,
Okay.
and they had a book of condolences that you could write message for Prince. So that's Aaron's son, so he could look back and see that. Like it said, like write your favorite Aaron memories or like things like that. So that was a nice touch they had there because obviously he's a baby, so he can't be there. So
that makes sense.
So we're just kind of like
wait. So sorry. So he wasn't there, and neither was the fiance.
No.
Okay, neither of them got to be there. Okay.
No.
Okay, got it. I just wanted to know, as I was just curious. I had more of a curiosity about that, but okay.
The only family members that were there were Angel and Nick.
Okay, good. All right.
And I believe Angel's husband was there too, but I don't see him.
Yes, I saw pictures.
None of the other
there.
Okay, got it. Okay, just making sure.
Just Angel and Nick.
Just asking. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So anyway, so then so they're kind of milling around. So at this point, then the boys come out. So, but they're like off to the side. The boys being 4 people we had no idea who they were because we were like looking and we took a picture.
Figured it out.
We eventually figured it out.
Who?
So David Archuleta, so he is from American Idol.
Oh.
He has a few songs.
Yeah.
We're
Canadians, all right.
B. Howard, which is
B. Howard. I wasn't sure who that was.
There's some rumors that he might be Michael Jackson's son or brother.
Everyone's Michael Jackson's son. Okay,
Brother.
like we all
might be Joe Jackson's child. I don't know. The internet.
Michael Jackson's brother.
Yeah.
Wait.
Joe Jackson is Michael Jackson's brother. He would be
Joe
Michael Jackson's
the dad.
nephew.
Dad. The dad is Joe Jackson.
What?
What?
Wait. Oh, Michael Jackson's papa had a little.
I don't know. It was a weird article I found on the internet because somebody else said he was related. I don't know if he is. I don't know if he's not. It doesn't matter. He was there.
So,
there was another guy who looked like Ricky Martin in Menudo, but because he was too young to be Ricky Martin now. His name ended up being Blake, and he was friends with B. Howard. And then there's this guy, Rod, who was wearing a hat, a toque, and he was some sort of influencer.
He's a TikToker.
He's a TikToker.
Wait. So he's the one who's friends with Lance, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I know him.
And he does all those like millennial.
Yes.
Do it. Yeah.
I know.
So he was the host of the event.
Oh yeah, he's very charismatic.
So it had that. Then from O-Town, they had Trevor, Jacob, and oh my God,
Erik Michael Estrada.
Erik. They had Brad from LFO. From NSYNC, they had Lance and
Joey.
Lance.
Oh,
I was like, I'm sorry, it says members with an S, but okay, sure. So, which is fun. Honestly,
maybe they couldn't make it. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe they had other engagements.
Like, Southwest flights are very expensive these days.
Yes. I don't know. Chris lives across the country. Joey, I don't know, wherever.
The country.
He lives in Nashville.
It's like halfway.
It's halfway across the country. It's not in California. JC lives in town, but he had just been on Lance's podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, he
you
used
can't
to
expect JC to come out twice in 1 month.
Yeah,
1 year.
Obviously, JT would never come to something. Yeah. And who else is there? Joe. Yeah, we said them all. Anyway, so whatever. Lance was there. That was fine. And then from NSYNC, obviously, was Nick and AJ.
From NSYNC, there was Nick.
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys. It was Nick and AJ.
Yeah,
so I was just making sure you guys were listening. to me. So there you go. So they were all there.
Jeff Timmons.
Not at this point.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Not at this point. Anyways, so they had them all there. And then everyone was just like crowded in the middle. And then there was like a little hole that you would go through and get your picture and then come out. So so everyone was kind of just like sardining their way to this little corner to get into this thing. And we're all like, who the heck are these guys? Because we didn't know who half of them were. And then whatever. So anyway, so we finally like get up and then there's people cutting in front of you. And we're just like, we're all getting the picture. So we just chilled. I ran into Chloe and we're hanging out with her and stuff. So we, you don't know her.
Okay.
We're not.
Okay.
She's a Backstreet Boys fan that we've seen at various.
Our listeners also don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. So
These details are not important.
Not important. I'm supposed to be making this noise when I go on a tangent. Anyway, so we get up there. I had a friend named Leslie who was there. So instead of taking a picture, she had them actually just record her going up and hugging them. And then she's like,
Aw.
I'll just screenshot it afterwards.
Good idea.
But I was able to actually get a picture of her when she was up there. So
God
that worked.
bless.
The lighting was really crap. Sorry. I'm not sure. It was purple, which is great. But I feel like if you're just going to take this picture, just put the house lights on.
Yeah.
And then have the thing on. So my picture is very blurry and hard to see. But it is what it is. Whatever. So we went in and then I hugged all of O-Town and Lance. Gave Lance and AJ business cards for the podcast.
Oh my!
I was just like, they want to be on
How
the
was
podcast.
that reaction?
Well
It was
done.
pretty funny. They were like, okay. So then Nick was up on like another level. So then Nick came down and like kind of hugged and did the cheek thing. And I was like, sorry
Did
for your loss.
he recognized you? He did, yeah.
I don't know. It was a very fast moment.
Okay.
So I think so, yeah. And then I'm like, sorry, my condolences. Like Aaron was great, blah, blah, blah. Hugged Trevor. And then Brad, and then they're like, hey, turn around type thing. So then Trevor's like, just had it, Brad. And I was like, Brad. Because he was like on the other side of Trevor. And I felt like I was really pushing my luck at this point. Because other people were not hugging. And I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I flew from Canada. I'm hugging my boy banders.
Good job.
That's right.
Not the randos in the corner that I didn't know who they were. I'm like, but anyway, so that was good. So we went out and then they kind of marked your thing so you couldn't go back in line. Because there was definitely a girl like, I'm gonna go for round 2. And then she was like cutting in front of us. So I don't know if she went for round 2 or because she was shouting this, that's why. I have to say that most people were very calm and not like nuts, but there was like maybe like 4 or 5 people who would randomly like shout and stuff. I'm like, this is a memorial. Like I know it's not like it's just like,
were you feeling
weird.
awkward a little bit too, right?
It was a little bit awkward, yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway, so we did the thing. And then at this point, everybody had taken their pictures, so then the boys left. And then this part where they were standing was actually the VIP tables for the people on the floor, which I was like, okay. So anyway, so we were there. So we just kind of stood there. We ended up being about 3rd row.
Nice.
So I was actually like 3rd row center. Rose from the dark side was like right in front of me, like she was front row. And I didn't realize how short I was until I was in this crowd, until I was looking at pictures that other people had taken. And in the pictures, I can definitely see my arm, but I look headless, and I don't think I can see everybody around me. So, anyways, so
but your videos are good, so
yeah, I tried.
You got a good view.
Like people were moving. I was like, it is what it is. It's the gist of it, but I thought they were pretty close. So, so yeah, I had my little wonderful phone charger. I had it plugged in. And then I just like was kind of switching back and forth between hands, and then I would try to cut it when there was like a natural break when they were moving. But for the most part, I say I probably got about 95, 98% of the show. So.
Good job. That's awesome.
Okay, so now that we're 26 minutes in, we can.
Should have been more.
It's okay. She got.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
she didn't go as tangent-y as before.
Yes.
So at this point,
the stage has been set.
Okay, the stage has been set.
Okay.
So now we're there, and I was probably about 15, 20 minutes late starting, I guess so. What do you think?
Yeah.
She said like half an hour.
It was right before.
I don't know. I feel like I was waiting for a while, and then I looked at the time, and it looked like it was 11:30.
So they had a picture because somebody had posted a screenshot of it was a picture of Aaron, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was that. Were they actually playing the songs? Did you hear the song?
Yes, I heard
they
some
were
songs.
Aaron Carter songs, right?
Yes.
Because in the actual venue they were playing. And I didn't notice right away, but then I heard Fool's Gold. And I'm like, they're playing Aaron songs. So they played Aaron songs up until like the show started.
That makes sense.
So it was very nice. So so it was Wednesday, January 18th at Heart WeHo. Okay, so we did all that stuff. So okay, so it starts off with Rod, who's Lance's buddy, the one with the toque. He's the host. He welcomed Angel and Lance to the stage. And then Angel was saying like a week after Aaron passed away, it lit a fire in me. And then I already talked about the fundraiser thing. So they're kind of like saying how this is what they were doing. So B. Howard was the first person up. So he was actually a friend of Aaron. So that's why he was at the event.
Okay.
So he's a musician as well. He's a friend of Aaron. So he sang a song called We Are Champions. Then he was kind of like talking and encouraging people to like stay positive and things like that. And then he started talking about his next song that Aaron was actually involved in it. So he helped him like make this song. So he invited his 2 friends up on stage, Ian and Blake. And the song, I believe, was called What More Can I Give? It was pretty good. Like, honestly, he sounded very good. He had good vocals. And it was good. So he did 2 songs. So then he was gone. So then they invited Dr. Drew on the stage. So
I was not expecting him to be on there.
Because I heard people like, "Oh, Dr. Drew is here," and I was like, "Okay." I'm like I had heard the name, but is Celebrity Rehab?
Is that like President's Choice, Dr. Dre?
No, it's an actual doctor.
Oh,
like Dr. Phil.
Did Aaron like go on his show on a podcast?
Oh, that's right. He did. Yes.
Aaron was on Celebrity Rehab.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
So I also thought that was kind of weird, but I'm like, whatever. So then,
did he drop some beats? Like, what did he do?
No,
he's
talk.
a
He's a
okay.
therapist.
This
He's
is
a
a concert.
doctor.
I didn't know. Okay, you were sorry. You
It's
need to elaborate.
okay. So
he gave a speech of like about mental health.
Talking about mental health. He was talking about On Our Sleeves, and they said that they have like a bunch of facts, and he said the facts are really depressing.
If you saw him, Lydia, you would know who he was.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay. So they're saying like in the States right now, like it's like there's one psychiatrist for 15,000 kids.
Oh,
which is not
That's crazy.
And then he was just like talking about some other facts, and he was talking about how you have to take care of the people you love.
Yeah.
You have to be there for them. You have to recognize the signs in them, things like that.
Yeah.
So it's talking about, so he had like a thing. So then up next was Ryan Cabrera.
I know him.
Yes. So his first song was Exit to Exit. I looked it up because I thought it was On the Way Down. And I was so getting ready for the chorus. And I'm like, I know this song. It sounds familiar. And I was like, no, this is not that song. So I Googled the lyrics. So Exit. I got to say, I'm really liking Ryan Cabrera. Like, Sophia and I saw him at the,
You've
the
seen
Christmas
him a lot
thing.
recently.
I've seen him twice. We've seen him.
I feel like
at
I've heard
that,
it. But wasn't he at the popsicle place?
No.
Okay.
Place.
Well, not the
Pop
one we went.
Tour 2000.
Oh,
Yeah.
was he?
No.
No.
In the summer?
No.
Why have I heard?
No.
his name
I mean,
so
he
many
was on
times?
some of them.
He
but
does
not
the
the
Pop
ones
2K
that we
tours.
went to.
Okay,
But I
okay.
guess the ones we went to. No, you're right. He wasn't there.
Okay.
Anyways, whatever. Finally got to see Ryan Cabrera in December and saw him again. And then his guitar. So he has this like weird guitar that Sophia and I had seen at the other concert. That is like pretty much nothing. It is air. It has like the stick and it has an outline, but there's nothing around it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's like a fish or something.
It's not a fish. It's like guitar shaped, but it's like, and he has like legs wound around it. Then it died.
Oh.
And then he was like,
Wow.
I think my guitar's out of batteries. Does anyone have AA batteries in their purse? And everyone was like laughing and whatever. And I'm just like,
Oh my god.
okay. So then,
But it wasn't a joke. It really
it wasn't. He actually needed them. But luckily, the stage tech is prepared for
Thank
these things.
God.
So he gave him the AA batteries. It worked. It was great.
That's amazing.
He,
great.
for some reason, was playing a bit of that Superstition song by Stevie Wonder.
Maybe superstition.
Yes, that one. And then I think he did some other like guitar or whatever. And then he did On the Way Down. He's like, this is my brand new song, which is it's his hit single from like when 2000s. It's called On the Way Down, which is a very good song, and I like it.
It's a good one.
And then he said that Johnny Resnick was actually a producer of that song. Johnny Resnick is from the Goo Goo Dolls.
Mm.
And I do it to see me.
Correct.
Yes.
That's the Canadian band, isn't it?
No. I met them at Much Music. It was an odd thing. He didn't want to come out and say hi.
Yeah,
even though
I
there's only
remember.
three of us there.
Oh, I thought he was Canadian.
He looked
Okay,
like a bum.
good. Okay.
Anyways, no.
So then that makes sense. why he
So
was
then
there.
he mentioned Johnny Resnick. So then he went into Slide.
Why don't you just slide? Yeah.
Then for some reason he went into a weird little medley of the Fresh Prince theme song, and mixed with Sexual Healing. I was like,
why?
I was like, that's odd. Were you? Did you see that part, or were you already?
I did. I don't understand. At a song that band.
Yeah, born and raised on the playground, away from most of my days. Sexual healing. I was like, what the hell are you doing on the playground, sir? That's
Is it like he didn't know what else to play? He thought it was fun. Like what?
Did
Like
you do that at the other concert? I can't remember. I just thought. It was
no,
fun.
I don't recall
I
that.
was like, oh, this is awkward. But then he went back to Fresh Prince, and I was just like, okay.
I guess he's trying to like lighten the mood a little because it's in
There
a
was
somber
literally no
event.
reason. He gave no reasoning to this. He just did it. We're
When
just
I
like,
think of an Aaron Carter Memorial concert, I certainly don't think of sexual healing. But okay. So you, Ryan.
Some people might.
you know what? I don't. You know, you guys live your life.
I mean, unless it's like,
No
part
judgments.
from Ghost where like they're doing the pottery
okay,
thing.
it's not.
Yikes. Okay.
So then he sang "I Want Candy."
Very good.
I want candy.
So obviously, Carter song.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he said, "Love you, Aaron," and then he got off the stage.
Very good.
So then Rod came back and he was starting to talk about mental health facts. And he was encouraging donations for the On Our Sleeves charity. There was a QR code. So that was kind of like his thing, shtick. Every once in a while he would come. So then they played a video from On Our Sleeves, which had some stats and kind of explained what the organization was about. It was a short, 1 to 2 minute video. And it said that their mission is to provide every child in America with mental health resources, and that 1 in 5 kids suffer from mental health issues. So it's a huge thing, and they need to work on that. Okay, so next up was Lori Knight, who was Aaron's manager, tour manager.
So I saw this video on YouTube, and some of the comments were very interesting. Go ahead.
So I don't know the full story with this, but I read some comments of like Aaron hated her, blah blah blah. I don't know if that. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's just more true in the recent years. I don't know all the backstory.
During like the manic stage, you don't know.
Anyway, so Lori has known them since Aaron and Angel were 9. Okay. She was their tour manager. Nice. So just so you know, she did not sing. This was a speech.
Thank you. Okay. Sorry. I don't know because I wasn't there. Okay.
She's not a singer. She's just a manager.
Okay.
So then she was talking about Joel Goldman, who is the director from On Our Sleeves. So she knows him. That's how. And that they had met Aaron ages ago at a fundraiser, like when he was working for some other children's AIDS foundation or something like that. It was years ago. So that's how he knows him. And then that's what they thought about this charity.
Okay.
So then Lori's speech, she was talking about how it hasn't always been wonderful.
Yep.
With Aaron, and she said how hard this is, and it was really hard. So she's like, she was saying that it would be a disservice to only say like the good things and not the bad.
Agreed.
Like that. So I can understand maybe that's also probably why some people were upset with. And then she's
to provide a balance.
She's like, he's hurt people. He's hurt a lot of people over the years. He hurt me. He hurt other people. But he also leads with compassion, or she wants us to lead with compassion. I don't know my notes. Anyway, so then she was talking about when he was 11 years old, they were in Singapore, and he had just got off the phone with someone who hurt him deeply. So she didn't exactly say who it was, but it sounded to me maybe his dad, I'm assuming, or mom. I don't know. It sounded, because who's calling an 11-year-old? And like, I'm assuming it was a family member, right? She didn't say, she didn't go into it. Don't even speculate. So anyway, so she said it like, so she just saw how hurt he was. So at that point she vowed to love and protect him, because she's like, this like kid does not need to be going through all this stuff. Right.
Yeah.
So she's like, the trauma of his childhood followed him. And she also made a comment that for those that wondered about her silence and Angel's and Nick's silence on social media and stuff, it's that people don't know how hard they fought behind the scenes to help Erik. Okay. So she was like, you guys think we're not saying anything or we're not doing anything or whatever because we're not being like, look what I did or whatever, right?
It's true.
But
when I saw a video, there was like comments in the crowd. People were like shouting, "We know!" So
they were saying that, but like a lot of Aaron stans think that he was abandoned and nothing happened because they're not outwardly going on TMZ and being like, "Oh, I love my brother" or whatever.
It's
but
true.
That's the thing is that fans only see it. Too. We only see what's
one side.
So when people perceive that nothing is happening, or whatever, or if somebody's going through a manic phase, they say a lot of shit that is not true.
Yeah, that's true.
I've had friends who've gone through manic episodes and things like that, and their reality at that time when they're in that is not the same reality that everybody else is living.
True.
So you need to understand that maybe if Aaron was saying all this shit doesn't necessarily mean that any of it was real. Some of it could have been, some of it couldn't. We don't know all this stuff.
But anyways, and we'll never know.
And you'll never know, exactly, because we are not there. We were never there. So anyways, what she was saying was that they fought a lot behind the scenes and that their silence was not them turning their backs on him, that they were
actively doing stuff. Yeah, it's the interesting thing about parasocial relationships, right? Because like we think we know someone based on their, social media presence, but there's a lot under that too. There's different facets of a person, right? Interesting, yeah.
So then she was talking about a story from when Aaron was younger about a girl who got in a car accident in Pennsylvania on the way to Aaron's concert. So her and her mom were in the hospital, and the doctor ended up calling the venue because the girl was like freaking out that she was going to be missing Aaron's show.
Oh God!
So she's like, I can't be in this hospital. But he's like, you're bleeding internally. Like you cannot go, whatever. So he's like, we've tried a bunch of things. We might have to do surgery. We don't know what to do.
Oh my God.
She's freaking out. this is going to be a really stupid ask, but can you like get Aaron to come on the phone and just talk to her or whatever, right? Because this was before, I guess they were doing sound check or whatever. So she's like, okay, well, let me go find him. We'll do that. So she went to go talk to Aaron to explain the situation. He's like, no, I'm not calling her. Like, let's get in the car and we'll go.
Wow.
So he's like, we're going to the hospital. So they arranged like a police escort so he could get to the hospital.
Wow.
So he got to the hospital. She was behind this big glass wall. So only Aaron went into the room. Like Lori was in the hallway, but you could see through the thing. He like climbed in bed with the girl, put his arm around the girl, was like chatting with her for like 20 minutes, did all this stuff. And then he left. And he told her, like, listen, like, when you feel better, I will fly you out to another show. Like, you can't come to tonight's show. You're like, you need help. You're in the hospital type thing. So whatever. So she did, and he did fly her out to a future show when she was better. But the doctor called Lori the next day and said, like, about 20 minutes after Aaron left, things started turning around, and like she ended up getting better and all this other stuff. So she's like, there's a million stories like that. Yeah. She's like, Aaron cared about people. So she's like, he cared about people. He touched people's lives. He did all this stuff. So, and then she's like, I know that he's here in spirit and everything. So she was also very overwhelmed that a lot of people that Aaron had worked with over the years were there at the event. So like some backup dancers, his keyboard player, like other people. So, so supporting him. And then she said, anyone who thinks that Nick wasn't doing stuff is wrong. And that Aaron had started making amends with Nick and Angel before he passed away. So he had been reaching out. And then she said that when she was on tour with him and Aaron was having a bad down day, things like that, she would always call Nick, and Nick would talk on the phone for hours. And then on his days off, he would fly to wherever Aaron was, even if he was only in town for 6 hours, to spend time with Aaron and then fly back to his tour. Nick.
What?
That was
nice. Contrary to what we think.
I feel like this was probably when they were younger, but also this was when she was still, but whatever. Okay. It's just like, so she's like, he always knew how to calm Aaron down. He always knew whatever, right? And that Angel was his Northern Star. And she said, pretty much, people need to stop stirring up trouble online on social media, stop saying shit. It only makes trauma worse.
I agree.
So
that's true.
I know the story, but you continually bringing things up, it's just making it worse for people. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
That's not what it was. So she's like, they were reconciling, things were happening. So anyways.
I mean, that's kind of good that was addressed because a lot of people,
it's good to know.
Right?
And of course, and a lot of people blamed him for his death and other stuff like that, right? You know, like, which is, you know, again, I don't know, whatever, it is what it is, and people try to cope in different ways. But anyway, so then Lori was off the stage. And then next up was David Archuleta. So he was the guy from American Idol. So he had a song called Be That For You. And then he did that 1,000 mile.
We'll walk 1,000 miles.
Oh fuck! What is that song? I can't sing.
I could fall into the sky.
Oh, okay, yes.
So he did that song. Nice. And then he did. Where does this keep scrolling? Sorry.
Okay. Probably hit it when you're.
Okay, so then he dedicated a song. So this is David Archuleta stuff. He dedicated a song to Aaron and also Nick and Angel. Nice. And it was the Robbie Williams song "Angels."
That's a good one.
I got an angel.
That is Joey. That is not.
Okay, which song is this one?
No, she was singing the right song.
She was not.
Loving angels.
That's not what she was singing.
No, I was singing Joey.
Oh.
Remember the Canadian guy?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, anyways, that's nice.
Lost me protection, a lot of love and affection, whether you're right or wrong. That's the Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
So he did that one. Then he did his own song, which was called Crush. And then David Archuleta actually started talking about how he went to therapy. He was going through bad times. He was going through therapy. He actually has an album called Therapy Sessions that kind of came out of that. And he said his main takeaway is that when you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling like stressed out or whatever, he's like, you just need to take a step back and you just breathe. Like, you know, like you're so stressed out about things, whatever, just breathe. And then he actually has a song called Just Breathe. So he sang that one. It was a good song. So so up next was Johnny Wright to say a speech, not to sing.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. And
he dances, so I mean, it could have been anything.
Johnny Wright dances.
Well, he knows about dancing. He trained these men. Did he
Can
not?
you imagine?
Johnny
Can you imagine if he was dancing?
Backstreet Boys NSYNC.
Hey,
New
what
Kids
did
on
he
the
do?
Block.
He was
tour manager.
Yeah. So you thought maybe
Okay.
those
Maybe he
couple
dances.
moves?
I don't
I don't know. I don't know this man. Okay.
Okay. So then, like, because they had a screen up that said like the songs for tomorrow with the thing, and it had like pictures of Aaron when he was a kid, and he was like, pay attention to this face of Aaron, and he's like, Aaron was about honesty and he was about love. So then he was talking about the first time he met Aaron was at Lou's house, and then everyone was like, boo, and he's like, if it wasn't for Lou, none of us would be here because of the boy band.
Sure, you're right.
So yes. So Aaron was 8 years old and he was in a 3-piece suit.
Oh, wow.
He showed up and he said, hi, I'm Aaron Carter, and gave him a high five, and then walked straight through the house to the pool and jumped into the pool in this 3-piece suit.
Oh my God.
And he's like, I like this kid.
Yeah.
So he said, like, fast forward like 9 months later, Aaron was like, obviously Aaron was around all the time. So he was sad that Nick was leaving and going like on tour and that he wouldn't be able to go fishing with him that summer. So he was like super depressed and sad.
Cute.
So then Johnny's like, all right, Aaron, can you sing? And then Aaron's like, yeah. And I'm better than Nick. And he's like, yeah, okay there, buddy. So he had his buddy, Gary Carolla, who's a record producer, wanted to re-record Crush on You. So he said, okay, Aaron, come to the studio with me. Let's just test this out, whatever. So they did. And then Gary said, yeah, it's amazing. We're good.
Yeah.
So then he went to like the parents and was like, hey, I have an idea. Let me go talk to the promoter and stuff like that. See what happens. So he talked to the promoter and they said, yeah, Aaron can open for them on the European tour.
Aww.
So he ended up going. So the very first date was in Germany at an arena with 16,000 people. So this is like his first show.
Yes.
So he's standing here on the side and he's like, okay, Aaron, are you nervous? And he's like, no.
Yes.
And then went out and like did his with his 2 dancers and did his little shtick. So 4 days later, they had 4 record deals on the table.
Beautiful.
He was signed 3 months later to a record deal.
Yeah.
Then he ended up leaving Johnny for another manager.
Oh.
But he said to Johnny, he's like, I will come back to you when I'm 18.
Okay.
So at this point, he was what, like 11-ish, 12, something like that?
He probably didn't make that call. I'm sure Jane.
Yes. Was Jane not managing him at some point?
Yeah, she was.
Crazy. So anyway, so he's like, I'll come back to you when I'm 18. Johnny's like, okay, sure. So he actually came back when he was 19.
Okay.
He had lots of problems.
Oh.
So Johnny moved him in. So Johnny has a compound in Florida.
Okay.
That like dance studio, music studio, things like that. So
Yeah,
he had Aaron come live there for a bit.
Okay.
And then at this point, Johnny's like, and this is what pisses me off when people say that Nick didn't do anything for Aaron. It's like he did. So Nick actually put him in Betty Ford, the clinic. So that's like addictions clinic.
Oh.
For 90 days.
Wow.
So he paid for, he got him there. He got him in there for 90 days.
Wow.
30 days later, Aaron checked himself out and said, I'm fine. And Johnny's like, you're not fine. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. You can't make me do anything. Which again, because Aaron was 19, he was an adult.
Yeah.
He was allowed to check himself out. Right? Because you can't keep.
Yeah, no.
You know,
can't keep the unwilling. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he says when he thinks of Aaron, he thinks of 2 Aarons. He thinks of a sweet Aaron and he thinks of a dark Aaron. And the dark demons, that Aaron thought that nobody liked him and nobody cared about him, even though his family did and they were around him and stuff. But when you get into that dark place, you just think negative thoughts about everything, and it's very hard to pull yourself out if you're not willing to pull yourself out.
Yep, that's true.
That's true.
You know, and he's like, you know, you need to reach out to people and you need to reach out and help people. And sometimes, like he said, I'm thinking too, somebody will send me an article and be like, oh my God, like whatever. And so instead of gossiping about the people, you need to go to the people.
Yeah.
And not, instead of saying, why the fuck are you doing this? You need to go to them and say, how can I help you? When someone is acting out or being nuts or whatever, you need to be like, dude, like,
understanding,
going through something, you need to
compassionate.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So, so he was kind of talking about that. Then he was saying like his next guest had demons come over him as well. But he was able to get out of it through support of his brothers and the Backstreet Boys.
AJ?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So AJ came out and he was wearing a yellow sweatshirt that said, I'm a ray of fucking sunshine, which was hilarious because I was like, oh, of course, AJ. So then he started talking about the song that he was going to perform is his next single for an album that is coming out this year.
It's January, so he's got 12 months to figure it
So
out.
we all kind of looked at each other like, okay, there, champ, because we've heard this story a few times.
Some people were saying maybe not the place to promote an album and a single.
Especially since it's not going to happen, but I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the song was called Electric. So he started playing that. And then my video cuts out at that point because my alarm went off. So crap. So I had to stop and start. So then I tried to start as quickly as possible. So I didn't lose too much of the song, but it definitely of course, in the middle of this new song that he hasn't performed.
Of course.
Huh?
No, it was a 10 o'clock alarm.
Oh,
it was not your. Yeah, it was not your alarm.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking 8 o'clock because I was
No.
trying to figure out the time.
What time would have been?
It was 10 o'clock at this point. California time, which would have been 1 o'clock in the morning, your time, I guess. So
yeah.
So were you already
sleeping?
asleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was sleeping a long
So I
time
was
ago.
like, crap. So then I started it. So he finishes the song and then he gets off the stage. So then Rod is talking again about mental health in the.
So they have like short sets.
Dr. Rod?
No,
No,
Rod is
TikTok
the
guy.
guy with
Oh, God.
the
Sorry.
host. So
I'm
Rod
sorry.
is talking.
Sorry.
So he brings Lance and Angel back up. So then Angel was saying that Aaron had recorded a full album a few years ago. I want to say she said 2019, which makes sense, I think, if it was the beginning of 2019, because we last saw him at the end, right?
At the end.
Yeah. So he was working on a sobriety at that point. So he had this album, whatever. So then they ended up playing a video of Aaron singing a song that he wrote called Recovery, which was like a very sad song. And they had like a cello player and they had a keyboard guy and they had like one of those guys who sits on a box and like hits it like a drum. I don't know. Like a
I know what you're talking about.
AJ sat on that good once.
Okay.
Anyway, so they're saying the shitty part is that the sound mix was not right. So you couldn't really hear Aaron. But this is when I think I cried a few times during this. I cried when Lori was talking. I cried, whatever. But at this point when he was singing, it was like right before he had gone downhill. So he didn't have any face tattoos yet.
Wow.
He wasn't looking all sunken or anything.
Yeah. Wow.
He was like looking like he looked healthy. And he was singing the song. And from what I could hear, it was a very beautiful song. It was a really nice song. So we're like, oh my God. So we're like, okay, that's good. So the girl behind me was like sobbing and shaking, and she had her arm out on my shoulder, and I was just like patting her hand. I didn't even know who she was. I didn't know who but she was just
but at least you're together, you know.
And I was crying, and then my friend Leslie
comforting each other
around me, and I was just like, this is just it was an awkward crying fest of that.
You're all comforting each other. See?
And then because we weren't crying enough. Nick now comes on the stage.
Oh no.
And he sings the song that he wrote for Aaron.
Yeah.
Hurts to Love You.
Yeah.
And it played like the music video in the background. He did so good. Like
he did very well.
And I was like crying. And this was like literally the only time in a concert where I was willing Nick not to look at me. Because I didn't want him to see me crying and other people crying and stuff like that. So I was just like, please don't. Because normally at a concert, I'm like, acknowledge me. This is my presence and stuff. But I was like, please don't look down because I don't want to be responsible for you crying on stage because you're seeing other people cry. So he was like kind of like more looking up and not really into the crowd. And then at the very end, his like eyes were like super red. And he's like, okay, I got to go. And just like ran off the stage. So
it was a
very very sad. So then next up was Brad from LFO.
Oh, Mr. Said. Yep. Here it comes. Okay. Sorry. It's like the
he had the shoes there as well.
Favorite part of the podcast.
Sorry, man. Okay. Okay.
He's honoring Rich and Evan, but I understand how
I know
it's just a little bit.
But now it's okay because it's a somber event, so it fits.
It actually is appropriate.
It actually is. Yeah.
That matter too. But anyway, so he was talking. So he comes on stage, and I had warned people ahead of time. They're like LFO. Like I thought, like are they all going to be here? I was like, no, only one of them is left. The other two have passed away. And just so you know, he's most likely going to bring shoes on stage. And they're like, what? And I was like, there's a red pair and a white pair of shoes. They belong to Rich and Devin.
Thank
He
God
passed away.
you were there.
I was like warning people while we were outside. They're like, "What do you mean shoes?" I was like, "He's honoring Rich and Devin. This is how he does it. He will tell the story. He's not just going to bring them and not talk about the shoes." And they're like, "Okay, thank you for the heads up," because I was going to be like,
it's a little it's a little jarring for someone who's not been to it. So thank you for that public
So
service
essentially, if you come in, he has a mic stand and the 2 pairs of shoes are hanging off, and that
then
is
there's
representing his other
the
band
shoe
members.
carrier, and then there's the water carrier.
They didn't have that.
What?
They didn't have that.
There was no
VIPs. For
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's too bad. Okay. That's a
Anyway,
story for
so
another
he
time.
comes out with his shoes. So he's saying that when he thinks of Aaron, he thinks of the beautiful little boy with the long blonde hair. So for some reason, I didn't think that Brad knew him when he was younger. I just thought
when
that
we
he
think
knew him.
long, I mean here.
Yeah, when he was a kid. So he thinks of that kid because he actually did know him when he was a kid.
Oh.
So he was at Brad's brother's house. So I don't know what the hell Brad's brother must be a producer or something.
Okay.
So when he met Aaron first time, he's like, "Hey, do you want to hear my song?" And he's like, "Sure, buddy." So he put the cassette tape on, he started playing it, he started dancing and singing and cartwheeling around the living room. I was all excited, and Brad was like, "Wow, that kid is like so full of energy." Like, whatever, so cute. And he said that the last time he saw Aaron was on the Pop 2000 tour on his birthday, on Aaron's birthday in 2019. So we had seen it in September of 2019. So he was kind of already on the.
Was that the one where he was yelling at you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Did he get kicked off the tour, or was it just the contract?
I think they finished it off with him,
and then they
just didn't invite him back.
Yeah. So because we had gone to see him, it was kind of like the beginning of his downward spiral, and he was not the greatest, but
he was just yelling at
people for not singing along to songs that
he
nobody
just
knew
released that day.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Didn't he just release like an album that day or something?
No, it was a little while before, but nobody.
It was
really
like
knew it.
very recent, and then I feel like he was like, "Oh, if you listen, like it's easy to pick it up, so you guys can like sing along." And then
no one was singing along,
and then he was very mad.
Most people, he was one of the opening acts because 98 Degrees was on at O-Town. So I don't think a lot of people were there for Aaron. And then somebody's like, "I want candy." He's like, "Screw that song." Or like he was just not in the best of moods. So
not even a happy camper.
I understand.
That was in September, so his last show was in December.
Okay.
So Brad's manager brought a cake for Aaron. And the crowd sang "Happy Birthday," and he's like, he was just so happy that like people were celebrating his birthday with him and stuff. So he had a good time. So he said Aaron left, and for some reason, even though he was leaving, he gave Brad a present.
Weird.
So he gave Brad a red jacket for some reason, and Brad's like, he's like, the jackets like we used to wear in like Germany, where you would wear red and you would wear green and you would wear purple, like. And he's like, "Okay, thank you." Like, he just thought it was weird. But so he thought it was weird, but he's like, "I wish I kept it." Right? So
awkward.
So he said when he found out about the death, he's like, "Crap, I wish I would have kept the jacket from Aaron." When he found out about the death, he was actually doing one of his meet and greets where he like eats lunch with his fans. And they found the news out, and then he was just like so overwhelmed, and he just started like head down, was like crying at the table. Like he said, it was like a very hard moment for him.
Yeah.
And then he talked about how like losing Rich and Devin and how that affected him because one of them died in 2017, one died in 2019, I believe. And like, so it would just like opened up all those emotions too. So he's just like all the people around him are dying. So anyways, he was just and then he was talking about that after Devin had passed away, because he was the second one to pass away. He was just super destroyed.
Yeah.
And he was sad.
Yeah.
And he was mad. And it was just like he lost 2 friends to cancer and all this stuff. So he was just in this really dark place. And his wife had said to him, like, "Brad, you can't live this way. Like, you need help."
Yeah.
So he ended up going to his doctor, and he had to fill out one of those like questionnaire things. And he's like, pretty much immediately, they're like, "You need to go see a psychiatrist."
Yeah.
So they sent Brad to a psychiatrist. And he went to a therapist, and then he was talking to friends, and he was like, so he was able to pull himself out of this dark place that he was in.
Yeah.
Because of his support group and because he decided to seek help.
Good.
So he was talking about like you need to be vulnerable.
He's not Mr. Sad.
Right. Sorry. Thank you.
He was more sad. He's less sad. So anyways, so he was saying how you have to be. And you have to be willing to reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of thing. Because when you're in this sad, dark place, you don't want people are trying to help and you can't get yourself out. And he's like, pretty much like, you need to get yourself out of this dark hole. You need to be willing to admit that you need help.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's the first step.
You need to get out of this darkness. But it's true because they have had people who are in these dark places.
Yeah.
And no matter what you try, if they're
unwilling,
they're not ready to get out. They're not ready to get help.
Yeah.
And you just have to stay there and be there for the person.
Yes.
And hope that once they're ready, they will allow you to help them.
Yes.
And that hope that it's not going to be a case like Aaron, where you just
where it's just like it's too late.
Yeah. So,
poor Aaron.
you know, and you never know who is going to. Sorry.
It's okay, buddy.
It was a hard event. Like,
of
seriously,
course.
I definitely was crying at the event, and so were other people. I was not the only one, but
yeah.
Anyway, so it's talking about getting out of the darkness.
Okay,
yeah, I saw videos, and in the front row, you could tell like all the girls were like sobbing.
It was hard.
Yeah,
and it was very interesting to see that so many of these performers have mental health issues,
and you wouldn't think so.
stuff, and you think, oh, you're so great and whatever, and you
Perfect.
don't think that they're going through all these struggles as well, right?
Yeah.
And it was just really nice to see them open up about it and realize, like, holy fuck, like,
you're not alone.
Them,
There's other people
like,
there.
This could be you. Like, I'm sure that's a pretty sobering thought when that happens, right? So, anyways,
of course.
Anyway, so so Brad was saying that like a few weeks after Aaron died, he had a dream about him.
Oh wow!
And he tried to call him, even though he knew he was dead. He still tried to call him in the stream, and security answered. So he said to the security guard, he's like, "Oh, sorry, who is this? Is this Randy, who used to be a BSB security guard, who apparently was there that night as well?
Wow.
Or Fritz, who was an NSYNC security guard." So I guess Brad was really like, I'm not sure Fritz was at the event as well, but anyway, so so in the stream, he tried to call them. So BSB and an NSYNC security guard. He's like, that's a weird dream, obviously, whatever. But later that day, his agent called him and asked him if he wanted to be a part of this event. So Brad's like, okay, like, he's like, obviously I want to be a part of this event, but I need to figure out the logistics. Like, I live in Florida, I have 6 children. I don't know if I can just like get up in the middle of the week. I'm assuming that he would have had to pay for his own flight as well, because this was like, anyway, so he was like cleaning out his office because they had a painter coming the next day to paint up some walls. So he's like taking like shelves off and all this other stuff. And he's like, okay, everything was down. But he's like, you know what? I just want to make sure I didn't leave something behind the door. So then he opened the door, and on the back of the door was the red jacket.
Oh, no way.
Wow. And he called his manager and was like, yes, I need to go to this event. Like, so that was crazy. So then he did.
That is wild.
So he did a 5-second moment of silence, which someone was like, ah! I'm just like, and they're like, it's silence. And I was like, it was very awkward because there was definitely like a few random drunk people who I feel don't really understand the somberness of an event like this. And it's just like, this is not like a regular.
And the thing
is, a party, right?
Brad does that at the O-Town shows. He does the moment of silence for Devin and for Rich. And it's literally 5 seconds. It's literally like, if you count it out, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because sometimes, like at other concerts or like sporting events,
like a moment of silence,
whatever, they have these moments of silence. And the issue is, yes, there's these drunk people, and the moment of silence is like 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, and that's a long time for people who are intoxicated, apparently, to be quiet. So they started being like, these moments need to be shorter, because it's embarrassing if you're having this moment of silence, someone's like, like go, leave, go, like, stupid shit like that. Right? So that it's very short. So the fact that someone
and like literally by the time someone
such
finished
a short time,
and then so it was like so anyway, so it was
I saw videos as well. Everyone's like, shh.
Anyways,
that's embarrassing.
But at this point, he's like, okay, like if I know anything about Aaron, he likes to party, he likes to whatever. So now we're gonna get some songs and whatever. So he's like, I want O-Town to come out. So O-Town came out because obviously Brad doesn't perform by himself. So then it was pretty much like the shows if you've gone to the O-Town show. So we did Veronica every other time, Girl on TV, and Summer Girls.
Mhm.
So then like he was fine. So then he went. So then Oh Down. So he left the stage and O-Town did their like medley. Someone I love me. And then all the like those songs, which you see me at one point on the live stream, like very passionately singing along. But guess what? I was not actually, because I was recording. So I was mouthing the words very like,
Yeah, good
just
job.
very difficult to record something and not sing along. So I was just like,
Yes.
That's some good self-restraint.
and honestly, yes, a lot of self-restraint. Like the time when we recorded Drake, I was just like, I'm not gonna, this is gonna record. I am screaming. I take video.
I apologize.
If you'd like to see Drake performing with the Backstreet Boys, it's on our YouTube channel. Anyways, I digress. That has nothing to do with anything. So then O-Town's like, okay, we're gonna play, like, if we've got to play an O-Town song. And then I said, no, we're not gonna. One of them said, I think it was Erik, like, maybe it was Jacob. No, we're not going to play any O-Town songs. And then the other guys called me an asshole and said, we have to play O-Town songs. So whatever. So anyway, so like, obviously we need to play this song or else the fans would be annoyed. So
All or Nothing.
Yeah.
Which my friend was very upset afterwards. She's like, oh, I thought it was going to be Liquid Dreams. I was like, I don't think Liquid Dreams is appropriate for this event.
Well, Ryan Cabrera did those two songs, so
hand in hand with Ryan Cabrera.
Anyways, All or Nothing is a very good power ballad. It's very somber type songs. So after All or Nothing, then Erik started talking about Erik. And he was talking about when they joined the Pop 2000 tour. And the first time he met him, he had his keyboard out there and he kept going, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Like he kept making this like little like 3-note thing with the keys. And he's like, it's nuts. And he just kept doing it. And then he actually like started singing and he was like super impressed with Aaron and all this stuff. Don't know what the heck this means. Oh my God, my right autocorrect was not good. So then Jacob said his first merit was Aaron was like, yeah, you know what? I think to start off the show, I'm going to do a backflip. And Jacob's like, yeah, okay, yeah. We all have those backflips back in the day. I wish we're old, haha. And then he's like, then he started the show and Aaron did like a backflip off of the drum thing, like 10 feet in the air. And he's like, okay, I guess he's doing a backflip. So Jacob was very impressed by that. Yeah. So then Erik started talking about children's mental health. And he addressed like all the parents in the room and stuff like that. And it's like, you have to pay attention to your kids. You need to be able to communicate them. Like, yeah, it's not cool to talk to your parents, but like you need to be able to spot the signs and help them out and be a supportive parent and things like that. So that's kind of talking about. And then he's like, well, can't leave without, we can't be at an NSYNC place without a member of NSYNC, blah, blah, blah. So then, or playing an NSYNC song. So then they started with Bye Bye Bye.
Very good.
Which,
did you cry?
Yes, I did cry.
Oh,
Again.
yeah.
But it was not as bad as that other time. But it was still like, and for those who have not listened to this podcast before, I get very emotional when O-Town does Bye 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 for two reasons. One, because it's always an NSYNC member is there. Yeah. It bothers me immensely that the NSYNC member is not there for the entire song.
Right?
They come in at the very last chorus, do their little dance and stuff, whatever. And then it also makes me very emotional because as a big NSYNC fan in high school, seeing that makes me realize that NSYNC is never going to get back together.
Yes.
And I don't want to throw that into the universe. And maybe I'm wrong, but as of right now, it's not a thing, an NSYNC reunion. And that really depresses me because I would really enjoy seeing them all back together again.
Yeah.
So the fact that he can't even do a full song, I'm like, if he can't even do a full song, how are they going to do a 2-hour concert, right?
Legit.
Yeah.
Which is my thing, but I
To
digress.
be fair, the floodgates were already open.
They were. I was crying a lot already at this point. And it's funny because my friend Leslie gave me Kleenexes, but obviously they were on my purse on the floor, so I'm just like trying to like record.
This reminds me of when, like a chump, I was like, I'm not going to cry during the Backstreet Boys documentary. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yes.
And then
I
cried a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I also cried.
Not as much, and I was going to crack a joke at one point.
And Kenny cried that one.
I cried.
Yes.
Yes. We cried at different times. Kenny cried at the Michael Jordan part because I guess that resonates with men. I think I cried at like.
I cried when Kevin was talking about his dad because my dad passed away as well.
Yeah. That's a very emotional documentary, but yes.
Yeah.
So very weird. because you learn how to say, "Can I have a blowjob
in German?"
German.
Yeah,
That's definitely hard. But
Wow.
Nope, nobody cried.
Wow.
Everybody was like, anyways, okay, so bye with Lance. So then he gets off the stage. So then AJ comes back. So then AJ is talking about
and this speech was beautiful and very sad.
Like, really like hard as well. And it was interesting because I guess he didn't say it because earlier he just played his song and got off. We're like, okay, I'm thinking, AJ's probably weird. Not going to talk about his recovery.
Because I'm like,
he
understands, he's the one.
If anyone, AJ definitely knows what Erik was going through. So he started talking about recovery and how he's been in and out of recovery for 25 years.
Yeah.
He said September 26th is his 1 year sober, which I was just like thinking, I'm like, I thought he was during like the pandemic, and I was like, interesting. So then he said that
So I guess he went back on tour, right?
Yes. So then he said that he's a really good liar and manipulator, and he's very introverted, and he didn't want to talk to people. He didn't want to work on himself. He didn't whatever, right? So like this speech is like really good. You should.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Talking about now his emotion. So like being introverted and whatever, this didn't work. It did not help with his sobriety. That's why he just fell off the wagon again.
Yeah.
So he's like, his emotions are on the outside now. He said, as hard and painful as it is to wake up each day, he says, very hard, and to ask himself the questions like, am I a lovable person? Am I a good person? Am I capable of loving other people? Like he was saying a bunch of this stuff. Wow. And then he said, you can be sober and miserable.
Yep.
And never ask for help. And he didn't want to live like that.
Yep.
And he said that he didn't ask for help because he had it all figured out. Mm-hmm. Like, he was fine. There's nothing wrong with him. Yeah. And he said his ego ran his life.
Yep.
And he said, and if my ego gets too big, it will end my life.
Yeah.
Right. And he's like, I don't have another relapse in me.
Yeah.
He's like, or as of right now, like 1 in 5 people die of opioids and fentanyl overdoses.
Yep.
He's like, if I pick up a drink, sure, it'll be 1 drink today, but tomorrow it'll be 2 drinks.
Yeah.
Then 3 drinks, and then that will lead to cocaine up his nose again.
Yep.
So has he ever admitted that he was a coke addict?
I feel like
back in the day. I feel like
it was implied, but
when he first went into recovery, like way back in like 2001, they said it was for drug and alcohol use, and he talked about how he was given cocaine on the set of the call video, and that's when this all started. And blah, blah, blah.
Wow. So so he's like, the drink, he knows that every time he falls off the wagon, it leads right back up to cocaine. And he said, if I do that again, he said he's proud to celebrate his little brother Aaron. No, he said if he does the cocaine, he will leave his children fatherless, and he will leave his wife a widow.
Yeah.
And he does not want that. Nope. So he said he's proud to be here to celebrate his little brother Aaron. He got to watch him grow up. He said he jumped on my back so many times. He was always wanting to wrestle me. He's like, I always let him win. And he's like, mental health is an epidemic. Now it's finally being talked about.
Yes.
He said, so I believe sometimes a tragedy has to happen to inspire other people.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't be afraid to say anything. You need to reach out to people.
Yep.
You need to ask for help. It's like there's no shame in asking for help. He said, I ask for help every day from my sponsors, from my wife, from whatever. He's like, Aaron's here. He's looking down on us. He's an all-around great guy. And he's like, good people do bad things, but that does not make you a bad person.
That's a good quote.
So that was a good quote. I really like that one.
Yeah.
So then after that, he's like, okay, I'm going to need Nick and Lance and Jeff to come up on stage. So it was AJ, Nick, Lance, Jeff. And then they started singing Shape of My Heart. And then Erik joined them on stage for I Want It That Way. So then Nick was kind of talking again, and he was talking about how important this event is, the cause and the message. And he was saying how Aaron's his little brother, and no matter what, he's always going to love him. And he thanked everyone for being there and stuff. And then, so then he was saying,
he started crying a little bit too.
Yes.
During that, yeah.
He did start crying, and so did everybody else again.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
So then he said, so their last song was going to be a song that Aaron used to perform all the time. It was one of his favorite songs to perform. So he called all of the musicians back on stage. Sharon Cabrera had his guitar. B. Howard was there. All of O-Town, everybody. Jeff Timmons was already there, sorry. So then they sang Imagine.
From John Lennon.
A good song.
Yeah, so that was then Angel came on stage and she kind of thanked everyone for coming and then mentioned that the event raised over $150,000.
That's awesome.
Fantastic, and that's awesome. So yeah, so that was pretty much the event. Then it was kind of over at that point, and then
it looked like it was a great event.
It was a good event. And then some people stayed by a little bit later so they could sign the book for Prince and other stuff. So we're kind of just hang around. So yeah, so there you go. So it was a very emotional evening.
Wow.
But it was a really good event, and I'm really glad that I ended up going.
I'm glad you went to.
Yeah.
And for those of you who weren't able to go and also weren't able to do the live stream, I did record most of it. So if you want to just go to our YouTube page.
YouTube.com/boybandbreak.
And then the playlist is called Songs for Tomorrow Aaron Carter Benefit Concert. So on there, I have all of them in order of when they occurred. So the videos are all there. Again, it's like most of it might have cut off a little bit of intros and things like that. But sorry that there's heads in the way. I'm very short. So I feel like I got the gist of it. So
still pretty good. Yeah.
So if you have not seen it and you would like to see it, I obviously give you the full rundown, but like some of those speeches were really powerful.
Yeah.
Probably, if you want to go check that out, please feel free to go do that. And if you are looking to donate, the organization is called onoursleeves.org. And they also have resources and things like that if you're going through that. So essentially, if you're going through any mental health struggles, if you're feeling like you're in a dark place, please reach out to people, your family, your friends, strangers on the internet, and ask for help. And yes, when you're in a dark space, you think it's going to be dark forever, but it's not. You can pull yourself out if you want. So
yes,
if you are ready and willing, people are there to help you. So.
Yes, you are not a burden. You are loved. You may be one person in the world, but to one person, you may be the world.
Yeah. If you're in Canada, we have Bell Let's Talk Day coming up. So they also have they support a lot of mental health resources in Canada, lots of programs and things like that. So feel free to look that up as well.
Yeah.
And there you go.
And you met Lance as well, right? After the event?
Okay. So So after sorry, this was such a downer, guys, but after the event, we were starving because we had not eaten since much earlier in the day. And where the Heart WeHo is, literally across the street is Rocco's WeHo, which is Lance's bar and restaurant.
Wait, so he has a nightclub and a restaurant?
Yes. So he had the restaurant first, and then he bought the bar because that went out of business, so he bought it. Whatever,
nice.
Right? So it's very convenient because then I was thinking, I'm going to go there because obviously Lance is running this event. So we're like, maybe. And then I saw, while we were kind of like waiting around, I saw Trevor walk down the stairs with some of the people and walk across the street. So I was like, yes, I do believe the after party is going to be at Rocco's. So we ended up going to Rocco's. It's not huge. It's not a big thing, but it's like a cute little place. And also
similar in size?
Sit down because our feet, even though I was wearing my flip-flops, my feet were hurting.
Yeah.
My friend was wearing heels that hurt her when she put them on.
Oh no.
So obviously 6 or however many hours later, still painful. So we went to go sit, and they have all these high top tables and stuff. And we noticed a few other fans, like Backstreet fans and things like that there. So we just kind of sat there and we're like, you know what? We're like, is the bar even open? The guy brought us all waters and stuff, without anybody asking.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, this is convenient. I'm like, but they had menus on the table. I'm like, are we allowed to order food or is the thing closed? She's like, yeah, you can order it. So I was like, you know what? Kill two birds with one stone.
Might as well.
So I just got a bunch of apps. So my friend got zucchini fries, which were kind of weird.
Yeah, they sound.
It was just kind of wet. They're kind of I guess, deep fried pickles, but not really because they're zucchini. And I ended up getting.
I learned that if you cook zucchini, you have to scrape out the seeds. That's the best.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just doing a quick because it was good what I ate, and I just want to take a quick.
Oh, you made a pear salad, didn't you, or something?
That was somewhere else.
Oh, that was somewhere else. Sorry.
Okay, so I got veggie tacos.
Yum.
So it had like the slaw and stuff. It was like the corn shells, and then they just had like a piece of avocado.
Oh, that looks alright.
But it
Yum,
was
yum.
very,
Yeah,
they were very delicious. It had the little lime. It was like you were getting like street tacos.
Okay, cute.
So that was good.
Yeah.
Oh God, I forgot. I also got a picture with like the B. Howard and and I got a picture with Ryan Cabrera.
Nice.
I took a picture of his wife because I was like, oh, Sophia likes wrestling, but somebody else was talking to her, and then she had to leave, so I didn't get a picture with her. But
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss. I got a picture. Sorry, I also forgot I got a picture with Lance.
Oh, that's so nice.
And then
How could you forget?
Look how cute me and Michael are. I don't know.
You're not gonna see it.
That is very
We're
cute.
gonna post it up on our socials.
I'll post it up there.
I saw the pictures.
I tried to talk to him before. He was a little bit drunk, and he was talking to somebody else, so I didn't feel like bothering him.
Yeah.
So then he went to go order drinks, and I was like, you know what? Got to shoot my shot here. Because, sorry, I forgot to mention how this place is set up. So it's like the main restaurant, but then off to the side, there's like a secondary private area.
Ooh.
So there's like a door that goes up, but there's also like fake grass that kind of goes around it. And it's like a little, so that's where like O-Town and them. And then, but then on the other side of us, there was a patio that had a glass wall. You could see the patio. So, and then there's like a back way to go around. So Lance and Michael actually came out through the back way and then went to go sit on the patio. And then Nick actually came too. What?
Michael is
Michael is Lance's husband.
Thank you.
So then Nick also came out.
Nice.
And AJ came.
Nice.
And Angel and her husband and some other people.
And Trevor came.
Obviously, I didn't take any pictures of that because that's creepy, and I'm like, enjoy your like after party thing.
Okay.
But when Michael came into the restaurant to go get some drinks, I was like, I went up to him and I was like, hey, I was like, really? I'm like, can I get a picture? He's like, of course. He's just a little drunk, but adorable. And then I was like, I love your podcast. Like, it's so good. He's like, thanks. And I'm like, I listened to the other podcast. Like, oh, thanks so much. I'm like, I also have a podcast. He's like, oh, yeah. So I'm like, it's about boy bands. He's like, I should check it out. I was like, you should. So I went and got a business card, came back. I'm like, here it is. There's the thing.
There you go. God bless.
I'm pretty sure he's not going
That's
to.
okay.
But I figured, you know what, whatever. So anyway, so then I got these tacos, and then I got.
And you did a video with Trevor?
Then I got these buffalo chicken empanadas, guys.
I think she's saving that for later. So
It was so good, and it was like. Sorry, I was.
she said you also got a video.
Oh yes. So so Lance's mom makes these buffalo chicken empanadas.
Cute.
So it said like Diane's
He makes her
recipe.
work.
No, she came up with the idea. I guess it's like a childhood staple. So I got those. And then I also got like pretzels with cheese, but the cheese was like a nacho cheese, but the pretzels were huge. I got two big like 8s. So then Lance came out again. So I got another picture because the other one was blurry. This one is also blurry. And then I was like, whatever. And I was like, Lance, you're going to say like, this food is really good. He's like, thank you. I'm like, no, it's good. He's like, those are my mom's. I'm like, I know. That's why I ordered them. And he's like, they're so good. I was like, okay. So then at this point, most of them had left. I saw Jeff Timmons. So I went to go say bye, but he was getting into his car at that point. And the security guard's like, he's had a long day, whatever. I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever. So I was mad for about 10 seconds when I was like, this is a memorial. Don't be like ridiculous and stupid. So I was like, whatever. So I came back. And then so one of our Backstreet Boys friends came over, also very drunk. And she's like, O-Town's on the other side. I don't know them, but they're there. And I'm like, how are you on the other side? She's like, I don't know. You should come. I was like, okay. So we kind of like just walked because it looked like, because Erik had already left and whatever. So then we see Trevor, and he's kind of like at the spot between like the
grass,
the good and the bad, like not
the good and the bad,
the private and the like regular peeps. There's only about 20 fans in the restaurant.
Okay.
So when I went to go see Jeff Timmons, I ran out, and then I tried to get back in. They're like, it's closed for a private event. I was like, my purse is in there, and I ordered food, and the other security guard's like, no, she's already here. Like, okay, so I got to go back in. So anyway, so they were kind of clearing out. We had paid. The guy's like, I'm so sorry, I forgot your pretzel. Here you go. And the server, Michael, was not Lance's husband, a different Michael. Lovely guy. He was so nice. He was really great. Did a great job. So anyway, so he was there, and then he gave me like some mac and cheese, which I also had kind of wanted to try, but he's like, here, I have an extra mac and cheese. I was like, okay. Aww. He's like, I'm going to go get a takeout container. So then I went to go eat it, and I was like, and he comes back. He's like, why are you eating it? That's so hot. I was like, it's burning. He's like, no, sorry. He's like, it was bubbling. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I just wanted to try it. And he's like, okay. And I meant for you to take it. I'm like, okay. So I ended up taking it. It was really funny. So we're like, okay, we'll go say bye to Trevor, and then we'll leave. So then he was there, and I was also talking to O-Town's manager, Kyle. Oh, sorry, I forgot. When Nick was leaving, he came out, But again, I also did not want to ask him for a picture because I thought that was weird and he's mourning his brother and stuff. But he had stopped by to like shake people's hands or whatever. And I was talking to Kyle and didn't notice that Nick was at the table. I was like, oh. So then he kind of like walked behind me and I'm like, you know, you did a really great job. Like, appreciate you. Like, I'd also run into him in the club as well. It's the same kind of basic thing. Like, you know, proud of you. You did so great. Really love the new song. And he's like, thank you. And then he kind of like, he did take a picture with one person and then they left. So then we went over to Trevor and then we were just like hanging out with Trevor and his manager and these two NSYNC girls that we had met and these two Backstreet Boys girls that we knew ahead of time. And we were just kind of like shooting the shit until the bar closed.
Okay.
So I got a couple more pictures with Trevor. And then my friend Leslie, her friend got her flight got canceled. So she wasn't able to come. So she got Lance to record a quick video for the friend and then, which is hilarious. He's like, Air Canada, boo.
That's cute.
And then he got Trevor to record one. And I was like, oh, I'm just standing here with Trevor. I should get Trevor to record a video for somebody. And I was like, who should I? Because he's already, we love Trevor on this podcast. He's been on it twice. So like, love you, Trevor.
Amazing.
But I was like, I don't want him to be like, hey, boy band break, whatever. And I was like, oh, I forgot that my bestie's birthday was last week. And he's a huge Trevor fan. So I got him to record a little happy birthday message for him. So he did that. And then, yeah, so then the celebrity side also closed and kicked them out. So then at that point, I believe, I think it was maybe like 1:30 or 2 in the morning. So we're like, okay, we should probably go. So then we all kind of went our separate ways and stuff. But we're trying to get O-Town to come to Canada. And we're like, Kyle, come on, let's do this. And then he's like, we're trying, but you know, like, I was like, there's no vaccine things, like you can come and go as you please. But I guess it has a lot to do with like merchandise and like bringing it over the border and you have to fill out all these customs forms. It was like a lot of complicated things, but he said they're working on it. So hopefully, he's like, obviously we know we have a lot of fans in Canada.
Yeah.
So we are going to work
Fingers crossed.
I was like, that's right, Kyle, let's do this. So anyways, it was good times. And then, yeah, that was pretty much it.
Good job.
Great event.
Well done.
Wow.
So there you go, a little bonus content there. But
And you got the mangoes.
and I stopped at the Santa Monica Pier, even though I was going to be late for my flight. But I figured I have no checked baggage, so I can go a little bit late. Because Lydia has this obsession. When she thinks of LA, she's like, all of the streets
Have mango
have
carts.
mango carts on every corner. I was like, they do not. And she's like, they do. And I'm like, okay.
I've never been.
Just so you know, in West Hollywood, there are no mango carts on the street corners everywhere. I did not see one at all on the drive. So I get to the Santa Monica Pier. I get out. I look to the right, and there's a fucking mango cart there. Not specifically mango. It's fruit in general, just so you know. So I was like, oh, is this it? But I had looked it up online, and there was one in the pier. So I kind of went down to the pier, and I found it. They were just setting up. So I got mango, pineapple, and jicama. Is that how you say it? J-I...
Jicama with an H. J is pronounced H.
Oh, jicama. So it had jicama.
Think about how you say the word jalapeno.
I say jalapeno.
Okay, well, think about
how a normal person says jalapeno. So we had that. So he made that. And he's like, do you want tahini? And I was like, in my head, I was thinking Diane saying, you hate tahini. But I was like, yes, I do. So then, and it had the, what's that called? Chamoy. So it was like, so there was no prices at all. So I was just like, meh, I took out a 20. I'm like, it can't possibly be more than $20. It was 12.
Okay.
So I was like, but I was like, oh, fuck, $12. But it was like a nice, like a big size container of this. I was like, it was delicious. And I called Lydia and she didn't answer. And then I saw my mom was like, hey, I'm like, look, I'm eating mango. And so then Lydia called back. So I was like, look at me on a pier.
You found the mangoes.
Eating the mango just in your honor, Lydia. So she's like, oh.
And then it was posted on Facebook.
Yeah.
To share to the world.
I was just like, I just want to put my feet in the water because 2 weeks prior, I was in Florida on the East Coast. And I was like, now I got to put my feet on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But the stairs were closed. I was like, crap. And then I found there was an exit on the other side. So I was able to go down, even though there was birds there. I'm like, I don't care.
Good job, buddy.
Put my feet in the water, which was freezing, very cold. I wrote LA 2023 with 2023 is the word.
Yes.
With my toe, took a picture, and then hiked up a hill with okay. I decided it'd be great to not bring a rolling luggage and to bring a backpack, which is a very stupid idea if you put a lot of things because it was very heavy. And I felt like I've actually like shrunk 2 inches because of the weight of this backpack.
Spinal decompression.
Anyways, made it to the airport, made it home. My bestie did not pick me up on time because he was on the phone with his boyfriend, but he eventually came. and bought me McDonald's to make up for the fact that he stranded me at the airport. There you go. And then I showed him. He's like, "Did you get a video? I have something for you." He's like, "Is it a video of Lance?" I'm like, "It's not a video of Lance. Like, pull your tits." And he's like, "Oh, is it from?" I'm like, "Yes." And he's like, "It's from Trevor." And he's like, "Yeah." So it's like, "Happy birthday to J to the O to the shh," and then he does like this whole thing.
That's
so
cute.
It was very cute. And he was
Are
very
you
excited.
gonna upload it to?
It's already there.
Oh, look at that!
You can check it out on our YouTube page. And if your name is Josh and you're turning 40 this year, me and Trevor wish you a happy birthday. So enjoy. Feel free to send it to us.
So nice.
Yeah, God bless.
It's a vaguely non-common name, I guess. It's like, I'm sure there's some Joshes around. There you go.
Sure.
Enjoy.
Why not? God bless.
Happy birthday. So
Happy birthday.
yeah. So I guess that's about it. Do you guys have any questions or anything? Or
That was very thorough.
No, I think you were very thorough. Lots of details. Fantastic job.
yeah.
And we're at an hour and a half. So I think thank you
Shorter
so much,
than the
Cinzia.
benefit concert, though,
Thank
guys.
you so much. Yeah. You know what? Like honestly, like yeah, it was amazing. I'm so glad that at least one of us got to go, and
Yes.
Sophie watched it. So that's good.
Some
Great
of
job,
it, yeah.
guys. Thank you so much and Aaron. We love you very much.
Love you, Aaron.
Yes, we love you, Aaron.
All right, want to wrap us up, D?
I would be delighted. Thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.